Kira sat quietly in the royal gardens of planet Zeller, surrounded by blooming flowers of every color imaginable. Yet, among all these vibrant colors, Kira felt dull and unwanted. Her green skin, though normal among her kind, was viewed by her people as hideous. Zellarians preferred blue and purple hues. Green was rarely seen and always frowned upon. Kira spent most days hidden away, hoping not to draw unwanted attention. Her long dark hair covered her face as she bent down, gently touching the petals of a flower that glowed softly under the pale moonlight. She sighed softly, wishing she could be as beautiful as the delicate flower. Her father, King Marus, always told her beauty was within. But Kira found it difficult to believe when everyone avoided looking directly at her dot from the garden. Kira heard laughter coming from the palace hall. It reminded her that today humans were visiting Zeller for the first time, invited by her father to strengthen the bond between their two worlds. Kira shivered slightly, worried about meeting these new visitors. She feared humans would also find her ugly and mock her openly. Lost in thought, Kira barely noticed footsteps approaching. She quickly turned, hoping to slip away unnoticed. But it was too late. A young man, one of the human guests, stood before her, smiling gently. He had soft eyes and a friendly expression. Kira looked away quickly, embarrassed. "Hi," the man said gently. "Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. I just needed some fresh air." Kira hesitated, but decided she couldn't just leave. Her father had always taught her manners mattered, no matter how uncomfortable she felt. "It's okay," she whispered softly, her eyes fixed on the ground. "I'm Luke," the man said kindly, stepping a bit closer. "You have a beautiful garden. Did you plant all of these flowers?" Kira shook her head softly, her hair shifting, to reveal her face slightly. "No, the gardeners do that. I just spend time here." Her voice was barely audible, but Luke heard her clearly. "They are beautiful," Luke said, kneeling to look at the glowing flower Kira had touched earlier. "Especially this one. It reminds me of home. We have something similar, but not quite as bright." Kira's eyes widened slightly, surprised. She had never imagined that Earth could have anything as lovely as Zeller's gardens. She dared to glance briefly at Luke, curious about his home planet. Noticing her interest, Luke smiled warmly. "Earth has many beautiful things, mountains, oceans, forests. But I must say, I've never seen someone as unique as you before. Your skin glows beautifully under the moonlight." Kira quickly looked away, sure he was teasing her. Tears filled her eyes. "Please don't mock me," she whispered, her voice trembling. Luke's smile vanished, replaced by concern. No, I didn't mean it like that. I mean it sincerely. Your skin is lovely, and it suits you perfectly. It's unique, different, and beautiful in its own way." Kira slowly looked back at him, searching his face for signs of deceit, but found only honesty in his eyes. "No one here thinks that," she admitted softly. "Green skin is considered ugly. Everyone avoids looking at me." Luke's expression softened further. "Well, they're wrong. On Earth, beauty is diverse. We have so many different kinds of beauty, and I think you would fit right in. There, your green skin would be praised, not mocked." Kira felt a strange warmth growing inside her chest. She had never heard such kind words before, especially about her appearance. Cautiously, she took a small step closer to Luke, studying him more openly. His eyes were bright, sincere, and without judgment. "Thank you," she whispered, feeling shy yet relieved. Luke's single quotes S smile returned, broader now. "Would you tell me your name?" "Kira," she answered softly, finally raising her head enough to meet his gaze fully. "Kira," Luke repeated gently. "It's a beautiful name, fitting for someone like you." She felt herself blush, something she rarely did. Luke's kindness was new to her, something she had never experienced before. She had always been alone, quietly enduring her people's silent rejection. "Would you like to sit with me for a while?" Luke asked, gesturing to a bench nearby. Kira hesitated, unsure at first, but then nodded slowly. Together, they walked toward the bench and sat down. Silence surrounded them, but this silence was warm and comforting, unlike the usual loneliness. Kira felt. "Tell me about your planet," Kira whispered softly. Genuinely curious now, Luke leaned back, smiling thoughtfully. "Earth is a beautiful place, full of different kinds of people, animals, and plants. We have vast oceans filled with life, mountains touching the clouds, forests teeming with creatures." He paused, looking up at Zeller's moon. "But nothing like your garden? This is something special." Kira smiled a little, feeling proud of her home for the first time. "I never thought anyone from another world would find Zeller beautiful. Everyone here thinks Earth must be better." "Every place has its own charm," Luke said gently, looking directly at Kira. "Just like every person does." Kira felt her heart flutter, surprised and touched by Luke's words. He seemed different from everyone she had ever met, accepting her exactly as she was. For the first time, Kira felt maybe she wasn't as hideous as everyone believed. Maybe, just maybe, Luke was right, and her green skin was something special. As they continued to sit together in the garden, Kira felt hope grow inside her heart, like the gentle glow of the flowers around them. For the first time, Kira believed she might find her own kind of beauty, reflected through the eyes of a human who saw her not as an outcast, but as something wonderfully unique. Life changed profoundly for John and Mia after the birth of their daughter, Ella. Every day was filled with happiness, new discoveries, and deepening bonds. Both worlds celebrated Ella's birth as a powerful symbol of unity and hope. John admired how Mia adapted quickly to motherhood. She was gentle and caring, often smiling warmly as she held Ella. John often watched them quietly, his heart filled with deep happiness. One quiet morning, as they sat together in their garden, John spoke. Gently, "I never thought I'd see this day. You, me, and Ella truly happy." Mia smiled softly. "Our journey was difficult, but it brought us here. Everything we faced was worth it." Their peace, however, didn't last long. Troubling news arrived about increasing rebel attacks near the border planets. Rebels grew desperate, knowing their influence weakened each day. Leaders requested John and Mia's presence again. They knew their voices mattered more now, as many people respected and admired them deeply. Though worried, John and Mia agreed. They knew protecting their daughter's future meant confronting difficult realities again. They traveled together, Ella safely in their care. At the gathering, they faced concerned leaders from both planets. The situation had become serious, with many calling for immediate action against rebels. "We cannot allow fear to control us," John spoke calmly but firmly. "War should always be the last choice." Mia nodded, standing bravely beside him. "Our unity gives us strength. Peace is achievable if we remain patient and strong." Their words convinced many, but others remained unsure. John and Mia knew they had to act carefully to prevent more violence. Days later, a shocking message arrived directly from the rebel leader. He wanted to meet John and Mia privately, claiming he wanted peace. "It's risky," John admitted seriously. "But it's our best chance to stop this," Mia replied firmly. "We have to try." They agreed to meet secretly on a neutral planet. Leaving Ella safely behind with trusted caregivers, they traveled quietly, anxious yet hopeful. Arriving at the meeting place, John and Mia cautiously approached the rebel leader. He stood quietly, his expression serious but calm. "I never thought I'd see peace," he admitted softly. "But your bond has changed many minds, even among my people." John spoke gently. "We all want peace. There's no reason to fight anymore." The rebel leader sighed deeply, looking at Mia with a softening expression. "Your child symbolizes hope. My followers realize war solves nothing. I'm tired of violence." Mia stepped forward bravely. "Then join us. Help us build a peaceful future for everyone." After a thoughtful pause, the rebel leader nodded slowly. "I will help end this conflict. Your unity has shown me peace is truly possible. Returning home, John and Mia felt deeply relieved. News quickly spread, bringing joy and hope across both worlds. The rebel leader's support greatly weakened the remaining rebel factions. Over the next months, peace slowly returned. John and Mia spoke often, encouraging unity and cooperation. Their powerful message touched many hearts, bringing lasting changes. Ella grew quickly, loved deeply by both humans and Zilorians. She became a joyful, energetic child, curious and eager to learn. John and Mia taught her kindness, compassion, and respect, ensuring she grew up understanding the importance of unity. One peaceful evening, sitting together by Ella's bed, Mia whispered softly, "She will never know the fear we once felt. She'll grow up free and happy." John smiled warmly. "That's our greatest achievement." But despite the peace, John noticed Mia seemed troubled sometimes. One evening, as they walked quietly together beneath the stars, he gently asked her, "What's troubling you, Mia?" She hesitated briefly, then softly admitted, "I fear sometimes that our happiness is temporary, that peace won't last." John stopped walking, gently turning her to face him. "We face countless struggles and won. Our strength is real, Mia. Together, we can handle anything." Mia smiled, reassured by his words. "You're right. Our love and trust make us strong." Life settled again into calm routines. John and Mia continued diplomatic work, though now with more personal freedom. They often visited Earth and Mia's home planet, sharing joy and hope wherever they went. During one such visit, an important announcement was made. Leaders from both worlds decided to create a lasting memorial celebrating peace. Inspired by John, Mia, and Ella, it would symbolize unity and the strength of their bond. Attending the dedication ceremony, John felt deep pride. Holding Ella's hand gently, he spoke clearly to the gathered crowd. "This memorial represents more than peace between two worlds. It represents hope, unity, and the power of love. My family and I are proof that understanding and compassion can overcome any struggle." Mia stepped forward, her voice strong yet gentle. "Let this memorial remind us always that peace begins in our hearts. With love and trust, we can achieve anything." The crowd applauded warmly, deeply moved by their words. John and Mia smiled at each other, knowing their struggles had truly mattered. As Ella grew older, she proudly learned about her parents' journey. She understood clearly the value of unity and peace. People admired her kindness, often saying she perfectly represented the union between two worlds. One quiet evening, watching Ella play happily, Mia smiled warmly. "Our daughter truly embodies peace and unity." John nodded lovingly. "Yes, and she will carry our message forward, teaching others that love and understanding matter most." Their days continued peacefully, surrounded by family, friends, and love. John and Mia knew challenges might still arise, but they felt confident. Their bond had been tested repeatedly, each struggle strengthening their connection. Quietly, beneath the endless stars, John held Mia close, feeling deep contentment. "We've truly built something beautiful." Mia smiled softly, resting gently in his arms. "Yes, John, and nothing can take that away." Together, they faced the future with calm confidence. Their forced marriage had transformed completely, now a powerful union filled with love, respect, and strength. Their story had inspired peace, changed hearts, and created lasting unity, a legacy they proudly passed on to their daughter and future generations. John and Mia continued their journey together, their bond now stronger than ever. Life began to feel normal, despite the constant presence of responsibilities. They traveled frequently, visiting different planets to help strengthen the alliance. Between humans and XELORIANS. One day, they arrived on the planet Zaron, a neutral world that both species often visited. It was a peaceful place, known for its lush forests and calm lakes. Leaders from many worlds gathered there for important talks about peace and unity. During their stay, Mia felt unwell. She looked pale and tired, causing John great concern. "Are you all right?" John asked gently, placing his hand softly on her shoulder. Mia nodded, offering a faint smile. "Just a bit tired. It's probably nothing serious." But John wasn't convinced. He insisted she see a doctor. The medical team quickly examined Mia and came back with surprising news. "Congratulations," the doctor announced warmly. "Princess Mia is expecting a child." John and Mia looked at each other, surprised and speechless. Slowly, joy filled their hearts. "A child," John whispered softly, a wide smile spreading across his face. Mia smiled gently, her eyes shining with happiness. "Our child, John." The news spread quickly, bringing joy and excitement to people across both planets. Leaders viewed their child as a powerful symbol of unity, a new hope for lasting peace. However, not everyone was happy. The rebels saw this new development as a threat, a powerful reminder of peace they despise. They began plotting again, desperate to stop the Union from growing stronger. One evening, while John and Mia walked together near their quarters, a sudden explosion rocked the building. Smoke filled the hallways, alarms rang loudly, and panic spread quickly. "Mia!" John shouted urgently, pulling her close protectively. "John, what's happening?" Mia cried, fear clear in her voice. "It's an attack. We need to get somewhere safe," he replied, his voice calm yet firm. They hurried through chaotic corridors, avoiding falling debris. Rebels had infiltrated the building. Determined to harm the symbol of unity that John and Mia represented, suddenly a rebel appeared, blocking their path. His eyes burned with hatred. "Your union ends here," he shouted angrily, raising his weapon. John stepped bravely in front of Mia, shielding her protectively. "Stop. Violence solves nothing. Peace is a lie," the rebel shouted back. Before the rebel could act, security forces arrived, quickly disarming him and securing the area. John and Mia were escorted to safety, unharmed but deeply shaken. Later, sitting quietly in a secure room, Mia trembled softly. "Will they ever stop?" John gently held her close. "We won't let them break us. Our child deserves a world free of fear." Days passed, and extra security surrounded John and Mia wherever they went. They felt safe yet confined, longing for freedom from the constant threat. John worried deeply about Mia's well-being. He could see stress affecting her health. He decided they needed time away from political pressures and threats. Quietly, he arranged a secret journey back to Earth, away from everyone. He wanted Mia to experience peace again, even if only briefly. On Earth, they stayed in a quiet, secluded home surrounded by nature. Mia relaxed visibly, smiling more and regaining strength. They spent their days walking through gardens, talking quietly, and dreaming of their child's future. One quiet afternoon, sitting beneath tall trees, Mia spoke softly. "I wish we could stay here forever." John sighed gently, understanding her. "Completely. We will come back whenever possible. But our duty remains important." "I know," Mia whispered, leaning close to him, "but sometimes I wish life were simpler." John smiled tenderly. "With you, Mia, everything feels simpler. You make life meaningful." Mia squeezed his hand lovingly. "You've given me everything, John, happiness, strength, and now our child." Their peaceful break ended too soon. Urgent messages arrived, asking them to return and address rising tensions once again. Returning felt difficult, but John and Mia knew their presence mattered greatly. Their child was more than personal joy. It was hope for their worlds. Back on duty, John and Mia spoke powerfully at large gatherings, emphasizing unity, peace, and understanding. They encouraged others to resist fear and embrace hope. One speech resonated deeply. Mia spoke passionately, holding John's hand firmly. "Our child represents more than just a union between two species," she said clearly. "It represents trust, love, and unity. Don't let fear or hate tear us apart. Together, we can create a future free from violence and misunderstanding." Applause filled the room, her words deeply touching hearts and minds. Support for peace grew stronger, weakening. The rebels hold on power. Months passed quickly, and Mia's health improved significantly. Their bond grew stronger, supported by love and trust. Finally, the day came when their child was born, a healthy, beautiful girl they named Ella. Her arrival brought joy to both worlds, symbolizing hope and unity more strongly than ever before. John held Ella gently, feeling immense pride and joy. Mia smiled softly, tired yet deeply content. "Our daughter," Mia whispered tenderly. "She carries our hope." "Yes," John agreed warmly. "She will grow up knowing peace and love." Leaders from both planets sent congratulations, reaffirming their support for peace. Even some rebels, moved by the birth of Ella, abandoned their cause. Seeking peace instead, John and Mia knew challenges still lay ahead, but with their daughter, their resolve strengthened. Their forced marriage had transformed into a powerful partnership, supported by genuine love and understanding. Together, they faced the future with hope, determined to build a better world, not just for themselves, but for everyone, inspired by the strength of their unity and the innocence of their child. Back on their home planets, John and Mia faced an entirely new reality. Their survival story spread quickly, making them heroes in the eyes of both humans and Zilorians. Media from both worlds constantly requested interviews and stories about their experiences. In public, John and Mia had to appear calm, united, and strong. Diplomats used their image to show that peace was possible, but privately, life felt confusing. Now they shared real feelings, not just a forced partnership. John found himself attending endless meetings and diplomatic dinners. Mia sat beside him at every event, calm and graceful. He admired her ability to remain strong under pressure. However, they rarely had private moments. One evening, after another tiring event, John finally had a chance to talk privately with Mia. They sat quietly together in their shared quarters, the silence comfortable. "I'm tired of pretending," Mia finally whispered softly, breaking the silence. "Every smile, every word feels rehearsed." John nodded, understanding her completely. "We need to find our own way now, not just the path others expect." Mia looked thoughtfully into his eyes. "Can we do that? Can we truly be ourselves when everyone expects something different?" John gently took her hand, reassuring her softly. "We have to try. Otherwise, what we found will fade away." A soft knock on the door interrupted them. Linda stepped in, looking serious. "I'm sorry, but there's urgent news. Rebels attacked a diplomatic station near the border. Leaders from both sides want to meet you." John sighed heavily, his shoulders dropping slightly. "They'll never let us have peace." Mia squeezed his hand gently. "Together, John, we'll face it together." The next day, leaders from both planets gathered. John and Mia stood in the center of the room, feeling the heavy weight of responsibility. "Your union is a symbol of hope," a human leader stated firmly. "We must strengthen our alliance against these rebels." "But at what cost?" Mia asked calmly. "We didn't choose this, yet our lives are not our own." A Zilorian leader frowned slightly. "Your personal feelings must come second. This is about peace." John stepped forward bravely. "Peace built on false promises won't last. Mia and I found something real. You can't force that." The room fell silent. Leaders exchanged thoughtful glances. After a moment, an elder diplomat spoke gently. "Perhaps we've overlooked something. Peace must start with genuine respect, not forced symbols." Slowly, others nodded in agreement. The meeting ended with a new understanding. Leaders promised to respect their relationship, giving them space to grow naturally. Relieved, John and Mia left the meeting feeling hopeful. Days later, John invited Mia to visit Earth to see his home. Mia eagerly accepted, curious and slightly nervous. Earth amazed Mia. She marveled at crowded cities, open countryside, and busy markets. John's family warmly welcomed her, treating her kindly despite her differences. One evening, Sitting quietly by a lake, John spoke softly. Mia, this is where I used to come when life felt too heavy. It always helped me find clarity. Mia smiled softly. It's beautiful. I see why it means so much to you. John turned gently towards her. Having you here feels right, Mia. For the first time, my world feels complete. Mia blushed, her eyes shining warmly. John, I've learned so much about life and love from you. You've made me stronger. They sat quietly together, the gentle sounds of nature surrounding them. Their bond had become deeper, more real. They no longer fear what others thought or expected. Returning to their duties, John and Mia handled diplomatic responsibilities more confidently. They traveled together frequently, promoting genuine understanding between their worlds. One journey took them back to the small village where they'd been stranded. The villagers greeted them warmly, joyful to see them again. You returned, the elder said, smiling gently. You've both changed so much. John smiled warmly. This is where we truly learned about each other. This place changed our lives. Mia nodded gently, holding John's hand. Here we learned about trust and friendship. We'll always be grateful. Their visit inspired more support for the peace efforts. Stories of their experience spread, changing minds and softening hearts. Rebels found fewer allies as many began to understand the strength in unity. However, danger still lingered. One evening, returning to their vessel, John and Mia received troubling news. Rebels had attacked again, determined to sabotage their peace efforts. Why won't they stop? Mia whispered, worry clear in her eyes. John held her close, offering comfort. Because peace threatens everything they believe. But we won't let them win. Together, they developed a plan. They would publicly confront the rebels, calling for unity and exposing their lies. Leaders from both worlds supported them, ready to back their efforts. Standing bravely before a huge gathering, John spoke clearly. We were forced into marriage. But through struggle, we found something real. True peace comes from understanding, respect, and love. Mia stepped forward confidently. The rebels want war because they fear change. But we have found strength in unity, not fear. Join us, choose peace, and reject violence. Their words echoed strongly, impacting many hearts. Slowly, support for the rebels faded as more chose peace. Afterward, alone again, Mia looked at John. With deep gratitude, you spoke so bravely. Because I had you beside me, John replied tenderly. We're stronger together, Mia. She smiled warmly, taking his hand. I feel the same. Returning home, John and Mia finally felt free. They had faced danger, struggle, and doubt. But together, they overcame it all. Their bond was no longer a political symbol, it was real and strong, shaped by shared struggles and deep respect. They knew challenges remained, but now they faced them with trust, love, and genuine partnership. The forced marriage that once felt like a burden had truly become their greatest strength. Days turned into a week on the mysterious planet. John and Mia settled comfortably into the simple life of the village. John spent his days helping gather food and repairing homes with the villagers. Mia continued speaking easily with the village. Elders, growing more confident each day. One bright morning, John and Mia walked through the lush forest, collecting ripe fruits. The planet's beauty surrounded them, calming their minds. I've never seen anything like this before, Mia said softly, touching a bright flower. Everything is so alive here. John smiled warmly at her curiosity. Nature often gives peace. On Earth, I used to walk in forests to clear my thoughts. Mia looked at him thoughtfully. Do you miss your home? Sometimes, John admitted, but being here with you makes it easier. Mia blushed gently, smiling shyly. I never thought I'd feel comfortable around a human. John laughed softly. And I never thought I'd enjoy an alien princess's company this much. Suddenly they heard hurried footsteps. A village scout appeared, breathing heavily. He spoke quickly to Mia. Her face became serious as she listened carefully. "What is it?" John asked anxiously when the scout had finished. Mia turned to him, worry clear in her eyes. "The scout says other visitors have landed nearby. They might be rebels." John felt a sudden fear. "We have to help the villagers protect themselves." Mia nodded firmly. "We must warn everyone quickly." They hurried back, alerting the village to the danger. The villagers trusted Mia deeply now, quickly preparing defenses. John helped build barriers. Impressed by Mia's calm leadership, soon, strange figures emerged from the trees. They were rebels, armed and clearly looking for John and Mia. One rebel stepped forward angrily. "Surrender yourselves? You cannot hide from us," he shouted loudly. Mia stepped bravely forward. "We don't want trouble." "Leave these villagers alone," the rebel sneered. "Princess, your marriage is a betrayal to us. Peace is a lie." John stood beside Mia, facing the rebels fearlessly. "You're wrong. Our marriage means hope, and we won't let you harm these people." Suddenly, several villagers appeared, holding simple weapons. They stood bravely behind John and Mia, showing their support. The rebels hesitated, clearly uncertain. Seeing their advantage lost, they reluctantly backed away. "We'll return," the leader shouted angrily before disappearing into the trees. John breathed deeply with relief, turning to Mia. "You were amazing." "You stood by me," she replied softly, her eyes shining with gratitude. "I could face them because of you." That evening, the village held a small celebration. Music and dancing filled the air. Mia danced gracefully with the villagers, laughing freely. John watched her warmly, feeling his affection for her grow stronger. Later, sitting quietly by the fire, Mia turned to John. "I never danced like that before. I've never felt so free." "You deserve happiness," John said gently. "I've never seen you smile so openly." Mia took his hand tenderly. "You gave me that happiness, John. You made me see who I really am." John squeezed her hand softly, his heart full of warmth. "Mia, whatever happens, we'll face it together." She leaned closer, her eyes serious yet tender. Together. The following days passed peacefully again. Mia grew even closer to the villagers, helping them with daily tasks. John found himself admiring her strength and kindness more each day. One afternoon, villagers spotted a rescue ship landing nearby. John and Mia went together to meet it, feeling both relief and sadness. Human and Zellorian rescue teams emerged, relieved to see them safe. Linda Brown, John's close friend, rushed forward happily. "John, you're safe!" "We were so worried," Linda exclaimed. John smiled, relieved yet strangely unsettled. "We're fine, thanks to each other and the villagers." Linda glanced curiously at Mia, noticing their closeness. "Things changed between you two?" John nodded seriously. "We've learned a lot about each other. We're no longer strangers." Mia smiled shyly, agreeing softly, much has changed. The villagers gathered to say goodbye, clearly saddened. Mia hugged the elders warmly, promising to never forget them. "You've become part of our lives," Mia said, tears shining in her eyes. "Thank you for everything." John stood quietly beside her, feeling deep gratitude. The villagers waved as they boarded the rescue ship, disappearing slowly from view as they rose into space. On the ship, they faced questions from diplomats and leaders, eager to hear about their experiences. John and Mia explained calmly, stressing the kindness of the villagers and the dangers still posed by rebels. Finally alone again, Mia turned quietly to John. "Will things be different now?" "Yes," he assured gently, touching her hand softly. "But we won't let them separate us. Our bond is real." She smiled warmly. "I trust you." He smiled back tenderly. "And I trust you. We'll face whatever comes next together." The ship traveled swiftly, carrying them back to their complicated reality. But John and Mia were no longer afraid. They had faced danger, found strength in each other, and knew clearly where they belonged. Together, their forced marriage had become a true union, strong enough to face whatever awaited them back home. John and Mia drifted silently through space in the small escape pod. Hours passed quietly as they waited, each lost in their own thoughts. John felt the quietness deeply, aware of Mia sitting close but seeming far away in her thoughts. Finally, Mia broke the silence. "Do you think they will find us soon?" John nodded gently. "They will look for us. Humans and Zilorians will want to make sure we are safe." She hesitated. "Why did those rebels attack us? Was it really just because of our marriage?" John sighed, his eyes showing sadness. "Some people don't want peace. They believe war is the only way. Our marriage is a threat to their plans." Mia looked troubled. "I never thought my life would matter this much. I always felt like a tool, something used by others." John gently touched her hand again, trying to comfort her. "You're more than just a princess, Mia. You're brave and strong. And I'm starting to see that now." She looked down at their hands and didn't pull away. "I always believed humans were weak and selfish. But you risked your life for me." "Why?" He smiled slightly. "Because I see more in you than just an alien princess. We're married, whether we wanted it or not. That means something to me." Before Mia could answer, a small alarm beeped from the pod's controls. John quickly checked it. "We're close to a planet. It looks habitable. We should land there and wait for rescue." He guided the escape pod carefully through the planet's atmosphere, holding the controls tightly as they descended. The landing was rough, shaking both of them hard, but soon they came to rest safely on solid ground. Stepping outside, John took a deep breath of fresh air. Trees stretched high, and strange, colorful plants surrounded them. Mia looked around, her eyes wide with wonder and caution. "It looks safe," John said softly, trying to reassure her. "We should find shelter and food until they rescue us." Mia nodded, clearly uneasy but willing to trust him. They walked together through the alien forest, exploring cautiously. Mia stumbled slightly, and John reached out to steady her. "Are you all right?" he asked gently. She nodded, a hint of embarrassment in her eyes. "I'm not used to walking on rough ground." "Our planets are smooth and ordered." John smiled softly. "We humans grow up exploring rough places. Let me help you." They found a small cave that seemed safe for shelter. John started a fire easily, and soon they had warmth. Mia watched him carefully, seeming fascinated by his actions. "You know many things," she admitted quietly. He smiled again, feeling closer. "To her, I've had to learn a lot to survive. Maybe that's something humans are good at adapting." "Adapting," Mia repeated thoughtfully. "That's something I never did. I was always taught to obey, never to change or question." John looked at her kindly. "You can change now. We're alone, away from anyone telling us what we must be." Mia looked uncertain but hopeful. "Maybe," she said softly, her eyes meeting his. Briefly, days passed quietly on the strange planet. John and Mia grew closer, talking more openly about their lives. Mia slowly revealed her struggles, how lonely she had been, always feeling she had no value other than as a princess. John listened carefully, seeing her more clearly every day. One afternoon, as they gathered fruits, they heard a noise. They froze, staring around nervously. Suddenly, several figures emerged from the trees. They looked unlike any beings John had seen before. Their skin was greenish, and their eyes glowed faintly. The leader stepped forward, eyeing them suspiciously. He spoke in a strange language. Mia stepped forward bravely and responded, surprising John. She spoke confidently, clearly explaining who they were and how they came to be there. After several tense moments, the beings relaxed. Their leader nodded, clearly satisfied. Mia turned back to John, smiling with relief. "They will help us," she said softly. "I told them we mean no harm." "You were amazing," John praised her sincerely. "I didn't know you could speak other languages so easily." She blushed slightly. I studied many languages, hoping someday I could be useful. They followed the beings to their village, amazed at the simple yet beautiful homes built into large trees. The villagers treated them kindly, offering food and shelter. Mia talked easily with their hosts, clearly enjoying herself. John watched her with growing admiration. She was no longer the cold princess he first met. She was warm, strong, and caring. The more he knew her, the more he liked her. That night, sitting by a small fire, Mia seemed thoughtful. "John, do you think they'll come for us soon?" "I hope so," he replied honestly. "But part of me enjoys being here with you, away from all the politics and pressure." She smiled gently. "Me too. I never thought I'd say that." John hesitated, feeling. His heart beat faster. "Mia, I want you to know something. When we first met, I saw you as a burden forced upon me. But now, everything feels different. You've become important to me." Mia stared at him, surprised but pleased. "You've become important to me too," she admitted quietly. "I never imagined feeling this way, especially for a human." John took her hand again, more sure of himself. Maybe our marriage wasn't a mistake after all. Maybe we needed this to see each other clearly. She squeezed his hand softly. "I think you might be right." Under the quiet sky, John and Mia sat closely together, feeling a new bond growing stronger. They knew rescue would come eventually, but for now, they were content just being together, finally understanding what their union truly meant.